Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel right now. This is a very, very interesting, very amusing topic. I don't have any inside knowledge whatsoever. I don't know either man, although I think President Trump is one of the greatest presidents, the greatest president in my lifetime, possibly your lifetime. I think Elon Musk is brilliant. I don't have any inside knowledge. I can tell you with I can't say certainty, but it is completely illogical and irrational to think that A, they ever had a feud to begin with, and that B, the America Party isn't being started by both President Trump in some way and Elon Musk. Elon Musk, number one, and we'll get to the analysis and we'll get to the interviews with Musk and President Trump in a second. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. But really quickly, let me just give you a recap of why this is all theater. Elon Musk has to disassociate himself from President Trump. The wonderful, highly educated, morally superior liberal Democrats, progressives, leftists, they view that many, not all, have keyed Tesla cars. They have tried to destroy dealerships. They were told by media, basically programmed like an artificial intelligence robot, that they should now not care about the environment and the planet and dislike Tesla. Okay, so Tesla, one of the more environmentally friendly companies in the world, literally what Democrats want, electric car vehicles. They then turned on Tesla within 2 weeks of negative media coverage. So you had Tesla stock, and hit subscribe. We'll get to the videos of President Trump in a second. But you had Tesla stock, around 400. Then it went to 220. Okay, and I'm not really big on the market, but that's one company, one stock, that I said when it was at 220, I said, yeah, that's probably a very good buy. I didn't tell anyone to do anything, but I knew it would go up. The thing is, it went from 400 down to 220 with just 2 to 3 weeks of negative media coverage, or 2 months. And so Elon Musk has to remove himself from President Trump's, if you want to call it brand, administration, whatever you want to, he has to pretend that there's a feud. So there could be some kind of clean break, and Democrats can forgive him, and liberals in Portland and Seattle and LA and New York can buy Teslas again. Once they're allowed to buy Teslas again, because they won't have to defend their purchase at dinner parties, because they can simply say, hey, Musk is building an America Party. That's going to make America great again. And, he doesn't like Trump anymore. So we like Musk again. So number one, the feud was simply probably to boost Tesla stock or the company's brand and image away from President Trump's administration and the apoplectic, never-ending negative media coverage that amounts to really nothing when it comes to President Trump being able to, win in a landslide against Harris after 10 years of negative media coverage. The second thing is that an America Party is going to hurt the Democratic Party. It'll hurt the Libertarian Party. How you can be a Libertarian and vote for a disinformation governance board under Democrats, I don't know. Okay, but there are Libertarians that voted for Harris, which is like, vegetarians, for Big Macs or, McDonald's, whatever. It makes no sense. So the thing is, the America Party, any new political party, you already see billionaires saying, oh, they're interested in it. That hurts the Democratic Party for a number of reasons. That fractures them for a number of reasons. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Hit subscribe. Let's look at the fanfare and the hoopla that is completely contrived, almost certainly. I don't know any inside knowledge, but I can tell you that there's zero chance. There's virtually zero chance that Musk and President Trump are at odds or have an actual feud. Maybe Elon Musk, is upset that he risked his life with DOGE, and the big beautiful bill adds money to the deficit or the debt. Okay, there are reasons for that. President Trump is focused on economic growth, so you can't really have GDP growth and shrink the deficit immediately after 4 years of Biden and Harris. But anyway, let's continue. Let's listen to this. I can tell you categorically, with almost virtual 100% certainty, there is zero actual feud. Maybe they're annoyed with each other. Maybe. It's probably simply an act, a charade, to boost Tesla's brand image among the morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats, some of whom are similar to artificial intelligence robots. Because now they can be reprogrammed to buy Teslas again.
Elon Musk and Donald Trump, it looks like their relationship has ended. President Trump talked to ABC and he said President Trump on Saturday said there would be serious consequences if tech mogul Elon Musk funds Democratic candidates to run against Republicans who vote in favor of the GOP's sweeping budget bill. Asked if he thought his relationship with the Tesla and SpaceX CEO was over, Trump said, "I would assume so, yeah."
Is there anyone on the planet with a functioning brain cell who thinks that two brilliant men, and Trump is a brilliant man, he's a genius. If there's a person out there who says, Trump's not smart, he's not a genius, what, are you a two-time president, billionaire, part of Americana even before he ran in 2015, and part of American history, and outsmarted the Democratic Party every single day for 10 years, and media, and the Washington Post, and New York Times, and MSNBC, CNN? What individual in human history could go up against global media, the American entrenched political establishment, both left and right, Paul Ryan and, Schumer, and come out on top and survive an attempt on his life, turning, and then somebody lost their life. A firefighter lost his life that day. I mean, they threw everything they could at Trump. The man is a brilliant man. You might not like the way the Democrats work, or many Democrats, not all. They say to Trump, buffoon. It's like, well, look where you're at. Look where he's at. Anyway, let's continue.
Yeah.
There's also a story about what really happened when when Scott Bessent and he clashed over who would run the IRS, and also about DOGE and what they were doing at Treasury. And when they left the office, the story is that Musk tried to ram him like a rugby player as he was in the hall, and then Bessent hit him back, and Trump evidently said, "This has got to stop." So there was definitely a scrum and yelling in the hall. I didn't know there was physical confrontation. Here's what Caroline Levitt said.
I certainly wouldn't describe it as a fist fight, Maria. It was definitely a disagreement. Although I was not there, I didn't witness it with my own eyes. I heard about it through secondhand reporting. But again, we've moved on from that. The president has moved on from it. And the entire administration is focusing on passing this bill. But also, Maria, cutting.
I love President Trump. I think Elon Musk is brilliant. I think he's wonderful. There was no physical altercation. There was nothing. Almost certainly there was absolutely nothing. And this is, again, trying to reprogram the wonderful, morally superior, highly educated artificial intelligence robots to buy Teslas again. Okay, Democrats were told Tesla good for years. They were told Tesla bad. Now they're being told Tesla okay? Is Tesla fine to buy? I don't want my friends and family to disown me. That's the way it works. If you're a highly educated, morally superior liberal Democrat, and you say that you're voting Trump, or if you're going to lose friends, family, they're going to disown you. You're going to become persona non grata in 2 seconds. Then if you bought a Tesla at the height of the hysteria around Tesla, that people say, well, what you want to promote DOGE? So this is all aimed at rebranding or, boosting the image of Tesla among people who would be reticent or reluctant to buy Teslas because of the negative media coverage.
Waste, fraud, and abuse from our government remains a critical component of this administration's agenda.
In my view, the thing that did it was not the criticism of the bill, which is not helpful, but the president will overcome that. When he said the Epstein thing and when he said the president should be impeached. Are you crazy?
Yeah, but there's nothing with Trump on those files. Nothing. It would have been leaked 10 years ago. If they could have stopped Trump, if he truly was. See, the people associated with the Democratic donor who owned an island, they're Democrats. By and large, he was a Democratic donor that the same New York officials, the same New York prosecutors who tried to destroy Trump, they couldn't even get a grand jury to go after that Democratic donor with an island. So when Musk says, oh, he's part of the you-know-what files, he's not. It's not really. Democrats start salivating. He is a. It's like, no, actually, it's mostly Democrats. See, it's Tammany Hall that uses politics to enrich themselves. Ask Biden with a laptop or the Clintons with a foundation or whatever. It's Trump was already a billionaire before he became president. Biden was not wealthy before he became vice president under President Obama. Then he became wealthy, and then we found out why. And we couldn't talk about it because that was it was the height of censorship in 2020.
This is an hour after you got the key to the Oval Office, after he stood up to you with the controversial things you did. I know about the $280 million. No one begged you to do it, and Trump won elections without being wildly outraised. $1 billion didn't get Kamala Harris over the finish line, and $288 million didn't get President Trump the victory. It definitely helped. He's definitely an asset. I'm in awe of his intellect. But when he got personal like that, why would you expect Trump to say, okay, just tell him to call me and we'll forget it?
Well, the president is still furious about the whole situation. He has every right to be. But as I said last week on the couch, I believe that Elon Musk is going to come around. And you already saw it yesterday. He was retweeting the president when it came to California. He was retweeting the administration, Marco Rubio, as well as J.D. Vance yesterday about the response to what's happening in Los Angeles. And I think it goes all back to my original point. There's nowhere else to go, Elon. Either you're going to be with the party of crazy, which you just saw our first story of letting their city be on fire, or you're going to try to make this party better. There's a legitimate criticism when it comes to big, beautiful bill, but you just can't shut down the entire bill as a result.
We were all talking over the weekend.
BRX95, thank you so much for the kind words and for always watching. I greatly appreciate it. To my Super Chat, everybody, thank you. Super Chat, thank you so much. To everybody here, thank you for the kind words, for watching. Elon Musk and Trump, Musk was risking his life, okay? He was risking his life every day with DOGE. Because when the left, many people on the left don't like something, it's a religious pursuit. They become zealots. They become the Democratic Party has turned into an atheistic political religion. Okay. Generally, if you're an atheist, you're not going to be beholden to the latest CNN story without any skepticism. Okay, but if you're if you're a political religion, if you have a political religion and you worship these absurd sacred cows, you could turn on Tesla in 2 seconds. You could look at Tesla as a symbol, as an idol that you have to destroy. So it's like programming an artificial intelligence robot. The actual cult, see, Democrats look at people who vote for Trump, the majority of the electorate, and they say, oh, it's a cult of personality. No, it's not. People don't vote for. Part of why Trump is great is because he doesn't care about the traditional, the sacred cows in Washington, like I use that term, okay? He's going to do what's good for the country at all times. And if it's not popular, he doesn't care. He don't care, okay? He's like the honey badger of American politics. He's like the orange honey badger. He's like the political Obi-Wan Kenobi. The more they go after him, the stronger Trump gets because he wants to enforce immigration laws, prevent Americans, stop Americans from being sent overseas to never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. He does not want boots on the ground. He's not a pacifist, but he's the most anti-war president that we've had in decades. Okay, maybe since in over 100 years, let's say. And he wants to bring American manufacturing back. Trump wants to bring American manufacturing back. These are three things that he stands for, along with other things. You can't destroy that because he stands for things that are popular that Americans want. What do the Democrats stand for? You don't really know. Nobody knows. Medicare for all, single payer, no. Green New Deal, they're embarrassed of that. So they stand for, it's almost like a cult-like atheistic political religion. You're part of some kind of, member of a club, and you can't be seen driving a Tesla now. But now you can be seen. You couldn't before, but now you can because there's a feud. So George Clooney, right? You think that any actor could simply write? You think that any actor could simply write, "Hey, Trump should step down," and then millions of supporters of Trump would say, "Yes, Trump should step down"? It would never happen. But it would happen if you're a Democrat. If George Clooney says Biden needs to go, his behind is out in 3 weeks. Doesn't matter what he says. But God bless Biden for one thing. He got revenge. He's like, "Hey, man, hey, cornflakes, man. You want me out, man? George Clooney, man. I'm going to wait. Man. 3 weeks. Come on now. Cornflakes." And then they said he should have stepped down earlier. He won his primary. You had no business asking this man to step down. Was he a terrible president? Of course. Did he commit graft, bribery, all that stuff? Was he engaged in criminal activity? Almost certainly, with a laptop. But Democrats had no right to tell him to step down simply because he just acted the same way he did since 2020. But anyway, let's continue.
What do you think happened? What made him just flip his switch?
Well, they say Sergio Gore had a lot to do with it.
Do you think, though? I mean, he was on Joe Rogan's show smoking marijuana. Do you think he was microdosing? Do you think he was in a different place? I don't want to project that, but I will say he's up with the thing that put him over the top is when Sergio Gore, who is head of personnel, said, "This NASA guy, Mr. President, has given hundreds of thousands of dollars to Democratic causes, only gave you money after you won. He's going to have trouble getting through confirmation." And when they pulled the NASA guy out, who directly affects his business, and they need to work together, he said that was the last straw. Evidently, Sergio Gore and Elon Musk had this huge rivalry because he was dressed down. Musk dressed him down in front of people. He says, "You're hiring people way too slow. Your vetting process is way too strict. You got to get people staffed." So that confrontation led to that confrontation, and that put him over the top.
But the bottom line, there's one commander in chief, and that's Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, and he has
now
the support of the American people overwhelmingly in the last election.
I'm Steve Doocy.
So here's confirmation. Here's proof, ladies and gentlemen. If you want some kind of evidence, here's some evidence to show the world. And again, I have no knowledge. I have no inside knowledge. I can tell you that if you hit subscribe to this channel if you're new, this is theater. Politics in America today is a lot theater, a good deal theater, theatrical performances, performance art, and this is why there needed to be a public breakup. Okay, it's almost as if it's like a college relationship where, the guy and the girl's breaking up, but they're doing it secret. They're still secretly seeing each other, but all their friends think they're broken up. So, what's Molly doing with Brian? I saw them together, but they broke up 3 months ago because they never broke up. They were always together. For some reason, they staged a breakup. It's just like that with Elon Musk and President Trump. And this is why, check this out. Musk was not going to risk his life every day with deranged lunatics who were morally superior leftists. saying these things right here and then suddenly break up with Trump?
So it's very significant.
You think you'll wind up getting to $1 trillion
Yeah.
of savings?
I mean, unless we're stopped, we will get to $1 trillion of savings.
And that stuff can be translated. I mean, we had Russell Vogt, the OMB director, on earlier, through very rescission authority, impoundment authority. But I believe you said it earlier, it's an audit that will not gather dust on shelves. This is actually going to wind up with real savings, bend the spending baseline down. There have been many good audits, like I said, done by inspector generals and by Government Accountability Office, and they just haven't been implemented. Nothing's been done. I think the GAO identified that there were 17 million dead people in the Social Security database several years ago. It's now 20 million, but nobody did anything about it. I think we can sort of look at this as a complaint minimization optimization. So basically, if the government sends money out to, whether it's wasteful or fraudulent, nobody complains if they receive money, but they do complain if they don't receive money. And the people that complain the loudest are the ones receiving the fraudulent money. And you're on it.
Yeah. So the goal here is let's not have America go bankrupt with waste and fraud. So that's what I'm here for, and we're making good progress.
Yes, you are. You're going to go another year?
Yeah, I think so.
Final report, middle of next year?
Well, we're just getting things done as opposed to writing a report. Like say, reports.
So you see him here and hit subscribe if you're new. Are you going to go another year? He goes, yeah, I think so. But see, he couldn't go another year. Okay, because the stock price, the stock price could have dropped below 200. Okay, that's a great buying. Oh my God, like an amazing buying opportunity. But I think Tesla's an amazing company. I actually don't. For years, I've said, stay out of the market, and I'm not big on the market, but here and there are companies like Tesla that, for a number of reasons, are amazing. Okay, futuristic, making money. People, actually, you can go to malls and see people are like actually buying. You can go to malls in California, New York. People are buying Teslas. Okay, it's not like they're not buying Teslas. Okay, they're buying Teslas again. And they're probably still buying Teslas all throughout the hysteria and the apoplectic media coverage. But you just heard him say right there, you could just rewind it or whatever, go back, that, yeah, he's going to stay another year. But the investors, Tesla investors, the brass there said, hey, you better leave because we can't withstand another year of the onslaught. Okay? And I'm not saying I don't know, firsthand. I don't have first-hand knowledge. This is basic logic. If you have a functioning brain cell, you understand American politics. Democrats cheated Bernie Sanders. They created a whole Trump-Russia myth, a Red Scare, McCarthy-era, theatrical performance that plunged the country into chaos. The way media works and how brilliant Trump is at just outmaneuvering and, outmaneuvering the media at all times. So what better way, like I said, what better way to start over? Reset the artificial intelligence robot software. So suddenly morally superior liberals said, well, you know what? Musk doesn't like Trump. We can buy Tesla again. We can buy Tesla again. We won't be disowned by friends and family.
Don't mean anything. You got to actually take action.
Yes.
So the waste and fraud in entitlement spending, which is which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. That's like the big one to eliminate because that's the sort of $500 billion, maybe $600-700 billion a year. That is also a mechanism by which
the Democrats attract and retain illegal immigrants by essentially paying them to come here and then turning them into voters.
You think he's going to risk his life angering the morally superior, perpetually indignant, liberal Democratic Party, highly educated mob? You think he's going to risk his life saying this possible, likely truth? And then suddenly say, I'm America Party. No. And you heard him say, yeah, I'll stay another year. But, no company can withstand, no corporation can withstand, apoplectic, hysterical, apoplectic media coverage like Tesla withstood.
Why is Amazon
So this is why the Democrats are so upset about the situation, because they're losing, if we turn off this gigantic money magnet for illegal immigrants, then they will leave and they'll lose voters.
But you have president's support. He said so again yesterday. He completely supports your operation.
Yeah, well, thanks. But that's super. Without the president's support, we couldn't make any progress here. Yeah, I mean, where you'll see the biggest outcry is from the Democrats who are, they don't want the waste and fraud to be turned off because it is a gigantic magnet to attract illegal immigrants and have them stay in the country. And I mean, you see some of the crazy stuff, like where money from FEMA, which is FEMA is an agency that's meant to take care of Americans in distress. And a bunch of their money was being sent to pay for luxury hotels in New York for illegal immigrants. And that was happening even after the president was elected, and even after he signed an executive order saying that needs to stop. So we actually made sure that money did stop going, because it's obviously outrageous that American taxpayer money is spent on luxury hotels for illegals. But you have to say, why was that being done? It was because the Democrats are trying to import voters, basically.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah, and that's also why there's no voter ID needed. In fact, in California and New York State, you're not allowed to show voter ID. Doesn't that seem insane?
Insane.
Yeah.
I say that as a New Yorker. It's insane.
Yeah, insane.
And it violates the entire Constitution and the principles behind it.
Yes.
Producers are yelling at me to get out. I don't want to end this.
So, do you think he's going to risk his life saying all of those things that are likely very true? No, he's not. He's not going to. President Trump and Elon Musk, they're not. Just because you're a billionaire doesn't mean you possess wisdom. Okay, wisdom is far more important than intelligence. Far more important. Okay, but Musk and Trump do possess wisdom, especially President Trump. Okay, you look at Musk, what he's done, you have to have wisdom to be able to, circumvent and navigate politics, media. There has to be a certain, it's not just cold, calculated, strategic. You have to possess some wisdom, especially when you're doing things that help people. Okay, so President Trump, he's bringing manufacturing back to the country. At least he's trying to. The rebuttal is, no, he's not. I was like, well, you know what? You don't think it's going to work, but that's his platform, okay? The Democrats don't have a platform, which gets us to why the America Party is such a genius move. Why do you think, ladies and gentlemen, 800 people watching and hit subscribe, why do you think that Elon Musk is starting an America Party? You already have billionaires who don't like Musk stating, oh, yeah, they're interested. I mean, Mark Cuban was like, I read that he was interested in the America Party, something along those. I think it was like a Forbes article or Business Insider article, something like that. Why do you think that Elon Musk is starting an America Party? Because it's going to fracture the Democratic Party to an extent. Okay, it's going to take voters from the Democratic Party, not from the Republican Party or not from President Trump. Okay, President Trump has a very strong. It's the Republican base. It's not just Trump's base. They say Trumpers or Trump supporters. the average Republican is a Trump supporter. The pollsters have it all twisted. Okay. The average Democrat doesn't really support AOC or everybody. They just have to. They feel obligated to. I don't feel obligated to. I never felt obligated to support President Trump. Just like I didn't feel obligated when I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, or the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post, when I wrote about how great Bernie Sanders was, which was, in hindsight, embarrassing not only for myself, but also for Bernie Sanders supporters, the one or two still left out there. Bernie Sanders was cheated by the Democratic Party, and you know what he said? Thank you, may I have another? May I have yet another cheating? Oh, fantastic. Iowa in 2020? Oh, thank you, Debbie Wasserman. Oh, well, it's not Debbie, it's somebody else. Thank you, everyone, for cheating me every 4 years. And I'll call Trump the most dangerous president of all time. And it's like, you know what? The working class does better under President Trump than any Democrat, especially under Biden. Prices increased 21%. Interest rates doubled in terms of mortgage rates. The average American, the economy stunk under Biden. The average American paid double for mortgage rates. That's why people can't afford homes. When President Trump left office, a $3,000 mortgage turned into a $6,000 or $6.5, $6.5 or $7,000 mortgage. Who has $7,000? Even $3,000 is a lot. Who has $7,000 every single month, in addition to all the other expenses? You know who has $7,000? A liberal or progressive or socialist Twitch streamers or liberal, progressive YouTubers. 1 million to 4 million subs talking about how great socialism is. Oh, they got a lot of money. Oh, they got a lot of money. But anyway, let's continue.
Watch this.
I don't want to go too crazy with cuts. I don't like cuts. There are certain things that have been cut, which is good. I think we're doing well. We're going to have to see. It's very complicated stuff. Great enthusiasm. This is the biggest tax cut in history. Everything is the biggest in history. It's the best bill we've ever had. We can't get one Democrat vote. Senate could be today, and we go over to the House.
Elon Musk once again weighing in on the bill. He says it's time for a new political party, and Republicans should be ashamed.
And that's okay. He probably, let's say he doesn't like the bill. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with Elon Musk not liking the big, beautiful bill. But the rift or the feud or the breakup is completely fabricated and like a theatrical performance. They haven't broken up. Okay, Musk risked his life with DOGE, but they had to take out USAID. If the rebuttal from Democrats is, but it saves people's lives, then go and pass legislation. You hypocritical, disingenuous, dishonest, morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats or whatever, or actors or, 80s and 90s rock and roll musicians, whatever. You know that Congress exists, right? Do these people know anything about how government works? Anything. You can defund ICE. Did you see what Trump's doing with ICE? Then defund it. Oh, you would lose the House in 26 again. So they're not. Democrats don't believe in any of the apoplectic hysteria. That's all for public relations. They need to get people as angry and as indignant as possible. That's the only thing they run on. The Democratic Party today, not when JFK was around, not when President Obama was around. Okay? But today's Democratic Party runs only on indignation and the ladies at The View and Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert and what's his name? He's becoming more irrelevant every day. What's his name? Robert De Niro and all of these actors and celebrities who were big in the 80s or 90s or 70s. What do Democrats stand for today? Green New Deal? Oh, they love socialism. Well, then why don't you talk about the Green New Deal? Why don't you talk about single payer? Oh, that's right. They cheated Bernie Sanders in 2016. So you have this political party that doesn't really stand for anything. And the America Party, if it just takes 1%, 2% of Democrats away from the Democratic Party, it's a brilliant idea. USAID, for example, like I was just thinking, USAID can be the programs that save lives. If you are a Democrat, you say USAID saves lives. You can fund the USAID can be funded in Congress. The programs could be funded in a separate piece of legislation to fund the programs that were cut. They're not going to do that. Anyway, let's continue.
President Trump responded with a post of his own. He says Musk is just upset over his move to dump the EV mandate. Trump suggested DOGE take a closer look at Musk's subsidies. He said Elon has a lot more to lose than just EV subsidies. That is a direct threat. Rachel Campos-Duffy joins me now. Rachel, it appears Trump has just about had it with Musk. It's a divorce, isn't it?
Yeah, it says a lot about Elon. It says a lot about Trump. Let's start with Trump. Trump is not transactional when it comes to donors. I mean, this was one of his biggest, if not biggest donor, helped him win Pennsylvania in a really big way. And yet Donald Trump is not afraid to go up against this man because he doesn't think that he's doing the right things for America. In this case, we're talking about Elon Musk going against the big, beautiful bill. Why? Because Elon Musk doesn't hate pork. He just hates when pork doesn't come to him. He's mad about the EV subsidies going away. He's mad about the solar panels and all the business he has with China and the CCP and Donald Trump cutting that out. So I think that is a great thing. As for Elon Musk trying to start a third party, well, I'm going to tell you what, that's how you get communism. You get a third party in there, you divide the conservative vote, you will end up with the communist party in there, just like.
But there is no Republican or Trump supporter that would go with the America Party. So Elon Musk is going after libertarians, many of whom, for some very bizarre, hilarious reason, vote Harris. How can you be a libertarian when you want actual, like, the Democrats had for a second a disinformation governance board, literally taken from the pages of 1984. They literally had a ministry of truth. But you're a libertarian and you want that, or you're okay with that. Or the political party that would want to send Americans to never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. The Democratic Party, which is what Biden did. Anyway, let's continue.
Like you're seeing with this Mamdani guy in New York City. That is where the Democrat Party is going, and that's what you will end up with. So don't think that Elon Musk is trying to do what's right by America by starting a third party. It will be bad. I also want to talk to you, Stuart, about the big, beautiful bill. Because whenever you have a big bill like this, there's stuff everybody doesn't like. That's just what happens in reconciliation. But there are some things in here that I think are so important. And it has to do with the working class. Donald Trump turning this party into the party of the working class. So there are 3,000 new Border Patrol, 10,000 new ICE agents. He's fully funding the section of the wall that wasn't funded before. He's going to finish those up. He's imposing a tax on remittances back to Mexico, and he's funding to deport 1 million illegals a year. This is not just about crime.
Well, okay.
This is about raising the wages of the working class.
There's lots of good stuff in there. Do you think that the Republican Party in Congress is going to say no to Trump? This is what Trump wants. Are they going to say no to him? You can't have that and not pass this bill? It looks like it, doesn't it?
I don't know. I think this bill is going to pass. I don't think Elon Musk has the kind of sway that Donald Trump has. And there's a lot in there for everybody. I mean, that's just how these bills work. There's a lot of good stuff. It's not just the tax cuts. I believe this bill will help.
Of course, the bill passed, and look, you have to look at it from the theatrical performance. Musk risked his life with DOGE. And the thing with USAID was a money laundering scheme. A lot of these grants, or the EPA with Lee Zeldin, we talked about that last night. $20 billion to 8 entities, $2 billion to a Democratic candidate. Okay, really quickly, the Democrats say, well, it's to a non-governmental organization, it's to help the environment. It's like, if you are a candidate, Democratic candidate, you didn't become governor, you lost, but now you have $2 billion at your disposal. If I walked into a room with a bunch of friends with pizza, I'd be the most popular person in the room. What if I was given $2 billion to dole out to friends, associates? That's how Democrats work. It's like a gigantic $20 billion pizza, or, you know, billions and billions and billions of pizzas in USAID. That's how the Democrats enrich themselves. The Democrats don't take, and even Republicans as well, they don't take money and put it in their pockets. They're allocated an enormous sum of money, billions of dollars, to help the planet. Yes. Oh, yeah. And while they're doing that, they make contacts, they grow their network of, there are people at banks, there are people at local government, there are people at tech businesses. You should see, like, if you look at how AOC started. Hans A. von Spakovsky wrote about this, former FEC chairman. If you're given $20 billion to allocate, or $2 billion to allocate, or $1 billion to allocate to various businesses and other local officials or state officials or government officials, you're going to wield a great amount of power and influence and prestige. And that's how Democrats roll. This is an art that they've perfected since Tammany Hall.
Elon Musk taking aim at President Trump's big, beautiful bill. This is it faces a lot of opposition from Republicans in the Senate. Musk posting on X, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination."
So he might. Let me ask you this, and we'll head on out in a couple of minutes. Do you think that he didn't know that the big, beautiful bill would be big, beautiful, and costly? It is good legislation, but it's costly. But it funds immigration enforcement. There's massive tax cuts. Okay, these are generally conservative things. You don't think that he was informed on this months back? You think Elon Musk just learned about this bill now? And he's like, what is this? A big bill? Oh my God. This is terrible. No, he knew about the bill. And so shame on those who voted for it. This is like a great breakup. It's like a great way to kind of, fed up patriot, thank you. As conservative patriots, we can't afford to ever be complacent. Seriously. Fed up patriot, thank you. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. Thanks, everybody. This is all theater, performance art. There's no way that there's an actual rift. Could they be annoyed with one another? Sure. They could have been annoyed with one another 5 months ago. It would be very bizarre for the entire world to know what is actually going on between this relationship through the reporting of, the mainstream or even Fox News. I love Fox News, but whatever. This is a way for Elon Musk to break away from President Trump's administration, rebuild Tesla's brand, and rebuild Tesla's brand. And then the America Party is meant to take voters away from the Democratic Party, even though they might. There are people, probably tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of people, who really don't care about voting Democrat or Republican, independents, that could be like, yeah, America Party, it's probably better than what the Democrats have to offer. Without an America Party, you know, a lot of people don't just vote for the platform, you know, the entire platform. They'll vote for certain things they like about a platform. And, you know, the Libertarian Party is like just broad enough that even Democrats would, some Democrats might be like, that actually makes sense. Anyway, hit subscribe. God bless you all. Thank you, everybody. Fed Up Patriot, thank you. I'll be back tomorrow, everybody. Thank you.